How bad was slavery, Daisy? How bad?
It couldn't be any worse there. I just keep trying to tell you. Can anything be any worse when a white man was having children by the Negro slave women and then putting them up for sale on the block? My father, they wanted to sell my father for a breeder for $12,000 when he was 12 years old. And old Golden, John Golden, was the rich planter. He wouldn't sell him for that. This lady that was in this room this morning is from New Orleans, one of the women. Just this past 2 weeks, she found this picture of my father down in New Orleans, and she's bringing it to me now. I'm going to have a copy of it, of my father.
Great. What regiment did he fight in, Daisy?
1st New Jersey Cavalry. When he ran away, my father was on the plantation working for his master, and he with 27 other boys ran away, swam across the Rappahannock River, and joined the 1st New Jersey Cavalry in 6th from the war. So,
was he a good fighter, your father? Did he fight hard for the Union?
oh, yes, yeah, he was a brave boy. Actually, he had nothing else to do. He was a brave boy. He had to be brave to come up here in this country.
I don't know how any of you guys are going and going and going. I know you gotta be at the same level of mental health as me. Every day it's something new between the fucking news and the fucking stupid Biden and stupid Trump. And this country's fucked. Every day we're spending more and more money. None of us are getting ahead. The rich people are the ones that are fucking getting ahead. I'm tired of struggling.
This is Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 8. Thus saith the Lord, in an acceptable time have I heard thee, and in a day of salvation have I helped thee, and I will preserve thee and give thee for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritages. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasher Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word, and all truth and sincerity. I want to go into a lesson using the clip that I started off with as inspiration for this lesson. You know, and I wouldn't even say it's a unique perspective of prophecy. I would argue that it's the only perspective of prophecy, and that is that everything that's happening now is a good thing for our people. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All the help our people prayed for is now being given by way of judgment. All right. That's why our apostles and elders, brothers on down, mentioned this being a beautiful time. Why is that? Because our salvation is nearer than we believe. We were never meant to remain in Babylon the Great forever. The Lord created Babylon the Great, which is America, and the Western powers and the control they have over the earth. The Lord used that as a prison for you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And now we're at the end of it. So at this point, the elites are trying to imprison everybody. But ultimately, the Lord used this as a rod of correction for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. What we see happening in the earth, in America, is a product of the Lord's judgment. All right. This is Psalm 9 and 16. The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. So what they've sown through rape, robbery, and murder of our people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're now reaping in an empire that is falling. And for us, Lord willing, we be a part of that number. For us as a nation of people, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, this is the recompense. This is the restitution. This is the reparations. All right. The Lord said he's not mocked. What is sown shall also be reaped. And now we're seeing the so-called white man as a nation of people reap what they have sown. It's Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived, the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. All right. And that doesn't just include men on a personal note. That also includes nations of people. All right. This is Job chapter 34 and verse 29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only, that the hypocrite reign not, lest the people be ensnared. And the so-called white man as a nation of people have ruled as hypocrites. And all the destruction that's happening, the deterioration of America is a product of them being a house built on iniquity. And for us as a nation of people, beginning with the elect, this is a beautiful time. All right, let's get this. It's Ecclesiastes 25 and 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And this is why I started off with that clip of the woman explaining the realities of slavery. Because the so-called white man has done a great job of sanitizing what they did to become a nation, what they did to become the USA. But it's only when you hear those first accounts that the reality starts to sink in. And when I saw that clip, it automatically made me think of how beautiful the time we're living in is, because they're now reaping what they sown. If you look at that woman, that was a very aged woman who lived her entire life under the threat of violence and oppression. It was a normal day for her. It was a Tuesday to be in that kind of condition. And now the wickedness that was sown then is being reaped now. All right. And this is why the Lord told us to consider the years of many generations. When you consider the years of many generations, what Trump is doing with ICE is no surprise. Because you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, your history with the American Empire, with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, your history it's been like this the majority of the time. With you being chased as a prey, exploited, brought into captivity, oppressed. This is the history of America. They try to highlight these past 50 or so years to make it seem like America's been like that for the 200 plus years it's been in power. And the reality is, this is a small space in American history. For the majority of American history, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans were considered enemies to the state and were treated like slaves. But when you consider the years of many generations, what's happening right now is no surprise. However, in the midst of Esau trying to reestablish his order, he's also falling miserably. He's falling and failing miserably. And this is the Lord acting on our behalf as a nation of people, beginning with the elect. All right, this is Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. And this was out of the mouth of an aged woman who would be considered an elder woman of our nation. And she lived through this. A 12-year-old Israelite being sold as a breeder for $12,000. You were the first stocks and bonds. So to watch the stock market start to crash, to watch this economy start to crash when it was built on exploiting our people is a beautiful thing. The scriptures say where there is no vision, our people perish. Our people can't see past the empire of America, which is why they have their hope built in this place. But for the elect, Lord willing, we are a part of that number. We understand that this kingdom is going to fall according to the words of the Lord. And it is a recompense for what this nation has done to Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Matter of fact, let's get this. This is Zechariah chapter 2 and 8. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, After the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me. All right, so Yahushua is coming to render recompense. Because unbeknown to the world that we live in today, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are the apple of the Lord's eye. And though he gave us the bread of adversity by putting us in this captivity, all right, ultimately, that was how he expressed his love in chastening us and correcting us in measure. And just like the first Exodus, the Lord's going to plead on our behalf. And one important fact that you should know about the first Exodus is that even though Pharaoh made the decision, all the Egyptians paid for having the Israelites in captivity. All right. When the firstborn died, it wasn't just Pharaoh's firstborn. And I say that to say that the so-called white man as a nation of people, whether they be rich or poor, are all going to suffer the judgment for what they've done as a nation of people. Just like we had to go into captivity for what we did as a nation of people, the ones who tried to do right and the ones who didn't. The same thing applies for other nations. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon 18 and 11. The master and the servant were punished after one manner, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. All right, and this is going into when the firstborn were put to death. All right, it says, so they all together had innumerable dead with one kind of death. Neither were the living sufficient to bury them. For in one moment, the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. And for whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged this people to be the sons of God. So it's going to take the judgments of the Heavenly Father for this world to acknowledge who the Lord's chosen people are, beginning with the elect under Yahushua. All right, so I want to end it with this, because when you look at it from this perspective, this is a beautiful time. There was a time period, and we don't have memory of our past lives, but there was a time period where many atrocities were done to us as a nation, and particularly maybe even you in a past life, and you had no power in your hands. You could do nothing about it but take it. And now we're living in a time where the Lord is rendering them a recompense for what they've done to our people for so many generations. And it's beautiful to see. All right. Real quick, this is Baruch chapter 4. And I'll end it with this. Verse 24. Like as now the neighbors of Zion have seen your captivity, so shall they see shortly your salvation from our God, which shall come upon you with great glory and brightness of the everlasting. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High. For thine enemy hath persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. And that's what's happening. All right. Now I want to jump down to verse 30. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. We're comforted with the judgments of the Heavenly Father, man. All right. Miserable are they that afflicted thee and rejoiced at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. And call her Lord Yahweh. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yasha Allah, and a sincere salutation to all Yuakim, who are preaching this word and believing this word, and to the Akwath, who are believing this word in all truth and in sincerity.